So something interesting happened over the last couple days, or since yesterday. I went. Our channel started to go viral on TikTok. So for the last 18 hours, one of our clips has just skyrocketed in views and attention and comments, and it's just continuing to build. It's at like 47,000 views right now, and like over 200 comments. And I'm trying to respond to every comment. It's somewhat challenging because the type of material we do is introspective philosophy, meditative awareness type stuff. So when I log into TikTok and actually start engaging with what people are saying, I want to give my full attention, and I want to really think about what they're presenting, and I want to give an honest, I want to try and respond in an authentic way. And it's like a never ending, it's great. This is a great problem to have. I can't respond to every comment. There's so many comments happening, and every time I log in to check, it's like there's like 10 or 15 more. And if I'm away from it for, like, I slept last night and I woke up to like 50, 60 comments, and I don't know. This is a great problem to have. And I'm making this video because I want to explain and show my process of how the social media, the TikTok is working. When the last video the start of this playlist is how I'm making it as a content creator, and it covered the first 1 to 3 months. And I touched on the fact that I was clipping out shorts from the long form YouTube videos to publish on social media, but I didn't go into much detail about what that actually looks like. And that's the purpose of this video, is I want to show you so you can see specifically what I'm doing. And I also want to share what it feels like, also, like what this experience feels like. So yeah, I want to give you a mechanical how-to while also sharing, the insight in what it actually feels like to see this thing start to work. Because I was surprised. Yesterday I went for a jog after work, and the post had been going viral for a few hours, and it was wild while I was jogging, and I was recognizing that it's the first time I've had like a viral piece of content that felt unique to who I am or what this is. It wasn't like a gimmick. It wasn't like a one-off. It's like, no, this is really what I'm doing this for, is to talk about this type of stuff and to help people or connect with people that are interested in seeing beyond themselves. Like, this is what I really love doing. And this piece of content is blowing up for what I love. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now. The weird part was, while I was jogging, I didn't really experience any chills. And it was interesting because I used to run all the time when I first got sober. By the way, I'm going into story time. If you're here for the mechanics of my actual process, we'll get there. I'm sorry. I'm doing story time right now, if that's what you're here for. Yeah, I think it's important because I think a lot of times I get an idea in my head of what my life is supposed to look like and what I'm supposed to be doing and how it's supposed to feel. And then when you actually get to the thing that you're working for, it doesn't feel like that. And that's what I was surprised to notice yesterday is, I used to, when I was in all the bands that I was in, all the rap, the music, the shows, the concerts, the app that I designed, the speaking things that used to happen, the podcasts, the interviews, all these exciting, traveling, touring, all these exciting things I used to imagine in my head when I was, 10 years ago, 13, 12 years ago, when I was starting my creative journey. I used to imagine all those things while I was jogging, and I would get like super high. It was like I experienced those things, like just imagining and visualizing these things happening while I was jogging. It was like I used to get a real rush from it, like dopamine, serotonin, all this stuff would fire off. And yesterday I'm jogging and I'm running, and the thought goes off in my head. First of all, it's wild that I'm not having many thoughts. Like, I just don't experience many thoughts if I do, they're subconscious. I'm not really aware of them, or they're not affecting me emotionally so much anymore. So that's a weird part by itself. The second part is I'm jogging and then the thought pops in my head, oh shit, like you're going viral right now for what you love and what you care about. And that was it. There was no excitement attached to it. There was no joy or firing off of dopamine or serotonin or any of these chemicals. And then the next thought was what I just shared was, why did it feel like I was high as hell when I was thinking about and visualizing all the things that could happen when people or when my art gets seen or my art gets known? Why was it affecting me when it wasn't real? But now that it is real, like I can pull up my phone right now and see that the thing that I've worked for or have wanted, that I've thought I've wanted all those years ago is happening, and it's not having an effect. It's not meaning anything to me right now. And I just went right back to the moment and the contentment and the happiness of being itself as I jogged. And I was like, oh, this is what it is. This contentment, this being, this peace and this presence is what I was looking for all along. All this other stuff that I thought I wanted isn't what it's about. So yeah, so I wanted to kind of land that in because it's about the process here. It's not about the goal. It's not about the end result. It's just about the process of realizing and actualizing who or what it is you really are, or what you really want, and how to create that and learn about yourself in that process. Like it's a discovery process. That's what this is all about. It just so happens we're gonna be talking about the mechanics of social media and how to cut stuff up and share it to be scheduled and posted in an efficient and effective way. Like it just so happens that's what we'll be talking about. But underneath it all, I think the real point of this is a process of realizing and coming into yourself as a creative and as an artist and as a human being. That's why story time, you guys. Okay. And that's why story time. So, yeah. So I know you're itching for, how this worked and how I got it to work. I want to say one more thing before we go into it. And that was this morning, when I started sharing what was happening with Melissa. By the way, nobody gives a shit. Still, nobody, at least in my life, nobody really cares about this thing being successful or not. So yeah, Melissa was not excited. It didn't matter really to her what's going on here. But I started thinking about it and I was like, what's really cool about this? Because, she's going to be impressed when I can show her a check for $1,000 for me talking. That's when she'll be impressed. And I would imagine if you're watching this, that's when your family, your parents, your spouse, that's when the actual people in your life are going to be impressed. So you could show them a check and say, I'm being paid to play games. I'm literally being paid to play video games. I'm being paid to just talk about what it feels like and what it seems like to be me. Like if you could show them money, they'll be impressed then, which is weird. And I was talking to Melissa and I was talking about how, it's not making money and all these followers are now, I'm getting 500 followers last time I checked just appeared. So I'm getting all these people on the TikTok page, and I was talking to her. I was like, I don't know how to monetize any of this, and I'm not quite sure what the point of it's going to be. But then the thought appeared, and I realized, oh shit, if I have an audience, it'll make people more likely to want to come on the show. And I was like, dude, if I get a big enough audience, there's incentive for people I want to talk to come on the show. And that is valuable. That's what's really cool. Like, I was like, imagine a situation where we have 1 million followers on TikTok or whatever, talking about philosophy and awareness. Like, how crazy is that? That this is actually trending right now. That people are interested in understanding the mechanism of our own mind and how it relates to reality or being itself. Like, that's crazy in itself. The crazier thing would be the day that I can send an email to Sam Harris and be like, bro, I would love to have you on the show to help promote your new book. I have tons of stuff I'd love to ask you. Like, how crazy would that be? So I don't know. Now that I'm talking about it, like, how crazy would it be to sit in front of Lex Friedman or Ro Jogan? I know these are all cool things that can happen if you start sharing and start moving into some form of art or creative expression. So anyway, I don't want to delude myself in delusion here. Let's move into the main topic of this thing. So my process is I have the main piece of content. What it started as is me sitting in front of the camera like this and just talking about whatever it is that came up. So I would sit here in the morning or when the inspiration appeared and I would say, or a topic that I had written down, I would sit down and I would just start talking about it. And I'd get about 10 to 15 minutes worth of discussion about something. And you can look at the videos that I've got on there. Like one of them's choiceless awareness. One of them's how I got sober. One of them's the pathless path. I don't know. Satori, like Zen Satori or Shinryu Suzuki. I talked about him for one episode. So what happens is I'll record it. So 12 to 15 minutes, right? I get it scheduled to publish with a cover art, with the details, with the transcript, gets bounced, everything, published it. And then I go back into the actual footage that was edited. And I'm going to show you my screen here. This is Wondershare Filmora. And this is an example. This is a new one that's coming out about Counter-Strike 2. And it's also a Let's Play video. Like this is two different ones in one. So on this one, I just like woke up in the morning, did what I just described, just started talking about whatever it was I wanted to talk about. And then I went and edited it with stuff. And then I went straight into streaming. I was streaming this whole time, but then I went straight into playing the next episode of the Let's Play series with Geneva. But I basically just continued the conversation the whole time. So I just was talking from here to here. And let me full screen this. So what you're going to do now is once this happens, you're going to listen back to it. You're going to do all the editing here. And while you're editing, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to keep track of the interesting things that you say or that gets talked about. So you're going to keep out a notepad on your phone and you're just going to write timestamps of when you said interesting things. And I'll show you what it looks like on my end here. I actually have this one pulled out because I was working on it the other day. So it's just a timestamp and it shows what the topic is, and the time at which it occurred. And there's a bunch of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this page. Then I go back to this. I find the timestamp. I press the insert button. I listen to the clip. I figure out where the end is. I out it. I out button it. So I basically segment it here. Oh, you can't see my screen. Shoot. I basically segment it here, right? In and out. And then I bounce it out. I press export. I title what it is, thinking about thinking. That's the subject. High quality always. Export it out. Bounces it out, okay? So that's one clip. Generally in a video like this Let's Play video with the opening monologue, I think the total that I ended up with was like 10. There was 8 on that one page. There might be 10 clips. So 10 clips get created, and I'm going to share my desktop screen now, and I'm going to show you the next part of this process. Okay, so once this gets bounced out, it ends up on the desktop here. So like, here's an example of one that I cut out. You can double click it. You can play it. Our need for survival is attaching to an imagined reality, blah, 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 blah. So once that's out there, what I do next is I go to this program called CapCut. And this is a free program that you can download. Wondershare, I don't know if Wondershare is free. I pay a subscription for it. I think I pay a subscription for CapCut too, but I know you don't need to. The reason I do it is because it allows me to caption and to AI generate and caption my clips. I think that's why I pay for it, so I can have that feature. But basically, I pull it up, I drag the clip in here, and this is where I actually make the short. I'll go click this button right here, 9:16 ratio. That's the TikTok, YouTube short style, phone style that you want. Click this right here. basically it's set up to be looking like TikTok. And then I do the editing process. Like this is a whole, I'm not going to go through the whole editing process because you can figure out, how you want your stuff to look and how editing works and all that. But I basically make it, then I run the captions, generate the captions, the transcript, all that stuff, and I make the clip. Once the clip is made and it's bounced, I bounce it from there and I get it right here. This is the main brunt, and the most of the work that happens is what I'm about to show you. Like all what you've been seeing, all of this is the main brunt of the work of producing content. I'm going to put myself back on the screen here. The main brunt of the work is editing, producing the content, the long form content, and then the clips from that long form content, editing and producing that, and all the stuff that goes with that. What part of the clip is going to draw the most attention? What part of the clip is going to, is it useful information? Is it helpful? And it's somewhat challenging because, and I'll show you this. There's a lot of times where I'll have, like, you see this? I'll have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clips, 10, 11 clips lined up. And when I'm watching back to what I made, sometimes I can't use them because I'm like, oh, that's actually not that good. And that's actually not worth someone's attention. So there's some judgment and there's some creative or artistic decision-making you're going to have to do for along the way in this process. It's not just cut it, clip it, share it. Like I was talking about this being a process of actualizing yourself or actualizing your own discovery or your own being. A lot of that has to do with some form of discernment about what it is you'll be birthing into the world. Are you okay with what it is you're going to be sharing? Is it a representation of what is, hey, here's a fun true, but here's a fun, what is true? Here's a fun saying. Is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary? You can ask yourself those 3 things. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? By the way, this is assuming that you're already producing content and filming stuff. If you haven't started yet, ignore all this shit. Just start recording and trying stuff. You'll figure it out as you go. But yeah, is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? That's a great way to look at it. I heard that in the Sweat Lodge. The chief said that to us a couple weekends ago. Nobody followed the directions. Like nobody listened to that when we were in the sweat. I thought it was a travesty. I was like, why is there's a bunch of unnecessary shit being shared in this experience, in this really sweaty hole in the ground? I don't know why people are sharing. Anyway, but that doesn't apply to you. You should share. Everyone should be sharing. Just not if you're in a sweat lodge and those 3 rules are permitted, okay? Just be quiet and be uncomfortable. Anyway. Yeah, it's going to take some artistic or creative discernment for you to decide if what you're, is this a representation of what matters or what is of interest to me? Yeah, ask yourself that. So once all these clips are ready, once all the clips are ready and they're in their little folders and they've got, this is Zen. So it's got the clip, it's got the transcript, and it's got the cover art. All this stuff I was able to make through CapCut. And it's getting quicker. I'm being able to do it quicker as I practice and do more of it. So once this is all set up, here's the very, very, this is my least favorite part of the whole deal. This is, I'm going to put myself on here to tell you what we're looking at. This is scheduling. So once you make the content, what I do now is I go and I schedule it. And by the way, through the course of all this, I'm kind of working along with AI here. So let me show you my screen again. So there's 4 places that I upload everything to. Everything goes to Facebook, everything goes to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and X. I publish on all the platforms. I'm just scattershot, and I've been doing it since the beginning, and we're 3 months in, and now stuff seems to be popping off. So I scattershot it because I was not expecting TikTok to be the thing that's working. And I didn't realize that YouTube was going to be harder than it actually is. And Instagram and Facebook are doing nothing. But that might be different for you. You might have a different experience. Like a different platform may work for you that's not working for me. So the idea is just to scattershot it out and see what works. But along the way, I'm using AI to assist. So I was using ChatGPT. Now I'm using ChatGPT and Claude. It's very important. If you go to Claude, make sure you click the actual Claude. There's a bunch of fake ones out there that'll get you. So this is the actual Claude. I'm learning how to use both of these to help figure out the time of days, you know, and the details of the clip, and just little mini things. In the beginning, I was leaning on it very heavily. Now I don't really. I'm starting to get an intuition. I'm starting to feel my way forward with it to where I don't need AI so much to help me think through stuff. But that's the main thing that AI is for me. I don't look to AI for direction. I look to AI to help me think through a direction for myself. So along with me, but at the end of the day, I'm the one and you're the one that's going to be making the decisions, and you're the one that's going to test things and experiment and see what works or doesn't work. AI does not know. I need to get that very clear, just so you know, that AI does not know. You can use it as a means to think through and make the best decision at the time that you can do for yourself, and then learn from that. AI is not going to do it. So anyway, so this is my least favorite part of the actual process here, is scheduling everything to be published. Okay, so what you do here is, and this is, so you can hear my tone change. It sucks. Press create post. Okay. Oh my God. You press the create post button. It's not working. It doesn't want to work. Oh, there it goes. You see, sometimes it's slow. Press the create post button. Press the add video button. Upload from desktop. Find it on the desktop. It's all a process and there is no end. Publish it on the thing. Mute it so you don't have to listen to yourself talk over and over. If you're not sick of yourself by now, trust me, you will be. Press the customize post. Figure out what you want to say. You know, whatever it is. Once you figure out what it is you want to say, you're basically just copy and pasting all the way through. So I can show you an example of what this looks like. So you don't know what it is. That's like the tagline that goes along with that. Then what you're going to need to do here, go to your notepad, and you will have saved, if you can see this here, here's a good one. Here's an example. You don't need to be in the ICU for 10 years. And then it says a short clip from the long form content with a link. And then it's got all the hashtags. So once you figure out what you want to say for each clip, you basically just copy and paste it into this thing right here. You fill out the tags. You do it for the Instagram, this, that, the other. You go to share. You go to schedule. You schedule it all out. This is not going to be a tutorial of how to work Facebook, okay? Hold on. That's what you do, and you do that for, that's what I do, and I do that for every platform, okay? I do it for Facebook. I do it for TikTok. I go to TikTok right here. I select the video. I make minor adjustments because I only use 5 hashtags for TikTok. And then I schedule it, and I have to have a cover art here so you can pick out your cover art, usually something that's attractive that'll make people, or remember, not make people want to click, but it's really about my homepage on TikTok. It's going to show this image. Keep publishing things. That's what I want to be there. So if someone's coming and finding my stuff and they want to find something interesting to watch that day, they know what the topic is here. It's just keep publishing things. So you do that, you schedule it. Then you go to YouTube, you go to create, you go to upload video, and you do the whole thing for this. You know, be careful what you create about yourself. Copy paste. This is the stuff I don't like doing, you guys. But I think it's important to show you this process because it's, you know, just because you don't want to do something doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And the fun thing is, because we can do this, it's way better than posting the day that something needs to be published. Because if I have an hour block of time or 30 minutes block of time to just do busy work, I can do this. It can be done anytime as long as you're at your computer. So it's like something. It's like in a lot of ways, it's actually really, it's kind of cool work because it can be done without much thought, creative energy, just kind of copy, paste, publish, schedule, copy, paste, publish, schedule. It's just menial, task work. And it feels like you're grinding. It feels like you're gaining experience. If this is an MMO, like it feels like your character is actually doing things that can help generate a bounty or a reward for itself. And that's what you're doing. You're farming clips, and you're scheduling clips. And then you get to have, like I shared at the beginning of this episode, a viral experience. So yeah, I just do that. I do it for the YouTube, and then I do it for the X. And then that's one clip that's scheduled. And then I go do it all over again for another one. I pick out another one, and I do the whole thing over again for this one. There, we got through it. We got through it in 31 minutes. Half of it was me talking about story time, which is great. So that's the process that I've been doing to farm social media clips, shorts, TikToks, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, Facebook reels. That's my process. I make the long form content. I edit and produce the long form content. I schedule the long form content to be published. And then I go back and I start farming clips out of it. I watch it. By the way, while I'm watching it to produce the long form content, I'm taking notes of all the clips that I can cut out. Once it's scheduled to be published, then I can go back and start making the short clips, because I don't want the short clips to go out before it's published. I want it to be published so the short clips, when they land on all the social media platforms, they have a link to the main video. I want it to draw people to the YouTube platform, because what I really want to build is the YouTube platform, because I think that's the one that can pay, that can be monetized well. All the other ones, I'm not quite sure how they work. Yeah, and that's about it. Like, generally speaking, I have about 3 clips going up per day on all social media platforms. I have mine go up at 9 a.m., 12:30, and then 7:30. And I started adding discrepancy, so like 9:17 a.m., 12:47 p.m., and like 7:17, just so I don't hit those main hourly slots and get caught up with all the other people publishing stuff. And yeah, that's what I've been doing since I started. At first it was, 1 clip a day, or like my goal was I just want 3 short clips or 3 social media clips per week. But as I began to get involved in this process and things started happening, more stuff started getting generating, and I started being able to do more stuff. My bandwidth expanded. I started to be able to create more in less amount of time, because everything is a skill set and kind of a muscle. And as you get started, it'll become easier, and you'll get a flow, and you'll understand your style, or the style will create itself through you, and everything will just get more organically easier. And it's all fun. I was going to say fun, but it's all fun. So thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging out. I hope this was helpful for you. If I got more stuff to share, it'll show up on this playlist. This playlist is how I'm making it as a content creator. Feel free to check out the first video if you're new. And yeah, any questions, any thoughts, any ideas, please share them. What's your experience been like? Share it in the comments so other people that find this video can see your process and connect with you, and reach out to me if you have any questions or anything at all. Thank you so much for hanging. Glad to be here. Glad you're here. In the words of Ted Theodore Logan and Bill S. Preston Esquire, stay excellent.